Well, welcome to Words Alive Story Station. I'm Jim, and I'll be your conductor today. And I thought we'd get ready to read by doing the things we do every time to make sure we're perfectly ready to start. So let's begin with making sure we have our eyes, our seeing eyes ready to look at our book, right? And then we'll make our C's cup behind our ears so we have our listening ears on so we can hear and listen to the book intently. And then lastly, we'll take this little switch and click on our voice box because I'll be asking you some questions throughout the book and I want to hear from you. Okay? Now, the other thing we do to get ready is we sing our book song to help us understand more about the books. Here's our book for today, My Brother the Duck, and we're going to start with the titles on the front. The titles on the front. Hi-ho, biblio, the titles on the front. The author writes the words. The author writes the words. Hi-ho, biblio, the author writes the words. And the illustrator draws. The illustrator draws. Hi-ho, biblio, the illustrator draws. And the spine binds the book. The spine binds the book. Hi-ho, biblio, the spine binds the book. And now it's time to read. And now it's time to read. Hi-ho, biblio, now it's time to read. Are we ready? Here's our book for today, My Brother the Duck. The author is Pat Zietlow Miller, and the illustrator is Daniel Weissman. So Miss Zietlow Miller does the words, and Daniel Weissman drew the pictures. Okay? So we're going to start with this page here. You have a little girl. Her name is Stella. I'm Stella Wells, fledgling scientist. Scientists notice things, and so do I. Like the fact my baby brother might be a duck. Let's find out how she thinks that way. I spotted something odd before I was born. Dad told Mom, "You're waddling. We must be having a duck." They laughed. I didn't. So we see the mom here with the baby still in the belly before it was born. A baby was bad enough. A duck was unacceptable. Research was obviously required. Now, research is information we try to find out to see if something is true or false. So, when my parents returned from the hospital, holding something wrapped in a blanket, I took notes. You see, there's the baby. Now, one thing we want to note about this baby, he's got a yellow blanket, right? What color are ducks and ducklings? Right, yellow. It's got a little pacifier in his mouth. Looks like it's in the shape of a duckbill. The thing was scrawny. It was yellow. Its nose was flat and broad. It looked like a duck. But that was only a hypothesis. To prove it, I'd need evidence. Now, hypothesis is a pretty big word, but it means it's an idea that one has about a fact, and then you have to find information out to support your idea. So she's a fledgling scientist, right? So she's going to try to find evidence or facts that can prove that the baby is a duck. Mom showed me the bundle. Look, Stella, it's your baby brother, Drake. That name seemed noteworthy. Turns out Drake is a fancy word for a boy duck. My first piece of evidence. Check. So, Stella's right. Drake is a name for a male duck, a boy duck. And sure enough, that's the name of her baby brother. As soon as I wrote it down, Drake started squawking. Man, could that kid quack? Ah! The baby crying. Drake, it means boy duck. This is her evidence list. Loud quack, yes. But scientists can't just wing it. They have to gather facts. So I visited my friend Carla Martinez. She's made volcanoes erupt. She's made pickles glow and paper clips float. Oh, here we go. See those floating paper clips? We have a new baby. His name is Drake. I think he's a duck. Carla considered my statement. Well, male ducks are called drakes, she conceded. Does he quack? You should hear him. And there's the friends. Does he have feathers? Not yet. He's fairly fuzzy, though. Does he have a bill? I stopped to think. Drake's nose was definitely not normal. Well, if we look at the pictures, boys and girls, we can see that Drake has a pacifier, and it's in the shape of a duck's bill. And his outfit is in the shape of a duck. I guess so, I said. Carla raised an eyebrow. Scientists don't guess. Further research was obviously required. Well, back home, Drake looked more like a duck than ever. Incredible, I said. But inconclusive, Carla replied. We must consult an expert. So there's baby, and there's Drake. He's with his dad after a bath. And he's getting dried in what? Yes, a duck towel. We chose Principal Kowalski. She drinks coffee from a duck-shaped mug. She keeps rubber ducks on her desk. And she even calls, "Make way for ducklings," when our class walks down the hall. Now, boys and girls, that's a little nod to another book called Make Way for Ducklings. You should read it sometime. Mrs. Kowalski, I said, we were wondering, how can you tell if a baby duck is really, a duck? Well, you know what people say. If it looks like a duck and sounds like a duck, it's probably a duck. There it was. An expert had confirmed my hypothesis. I was related to a duck. A waddling, quacking, broad-billed baby duck. I thought about it all day. And here are thought bubbles, okay? So when we have a character in a book that's thinking things, the illustrator will draw it like a bubble and then put the image inside. Where'd we go? What we do? It wasn't so bad, really. So she imagines fishing with the duck. And she says we could still share lunch while they're here eating goldfish crackers. Yum. Drake's feathers would add a certain flair to every family photo. Plus, we'd never, ever lose a game of duck, duck, goose. I hurried home, ready to be the best big sister a duck ever had. There she is on a bike, furiously trying to get home. Drake was in his bassinet. He looked rounder and smoother than before. His nose seemed almost normal. That didn't fit the bill. So here he is. Oops, let me get the right way. Here he is. So he doesn't have his towel blanket on anymore. Was all my research wrong? Just then, Dad waddled by. I dropped my notebook and stared. Long, skinny legs? Check. Wide, webbed feet? Check. The biggest bill I'd ever seen? Check. Pool time, he announced. I need to get my wings wet. So the dad is getting ready to go swimming out at the pool. Stella Wells, fledgling scientist, had another hypothesis to test. And what do we think that hypothesis was? Huh? She needed to find out if her dad was really a duck. Oh. So anyway, that's our book for today, My Brother the Duck. We want to thank all our good friends at Chronicle Books for allowing us to read it today. And until next time at Story Station, keep reading. Bye, everybody.